Number 4, reducing snare bleed in the overheads. I love this. You phase aligned it, you put some body back in it, but let's just say you want to make it a little bit more snappy. So we grabbed a compressor here, just a good old-fashioned Renaissance compressor, the R-Comp as it's commonly known. Let's take a section here. Okay, we're going to send from the snare itself. So we'll grab, I don't know, bus 5, for instance, and we're going to key that here on 5. So what have we done? We've now got the snare controlling the compression on the overheads. So we can set our threshold so every time the snare plays, it just dips a little bit out of the overheads. Have a listen to this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in pre-fade so I can mute the snare and you can hear it with and without the compression. There it is. See, now it's got that pa, pa, pa. Love it. It just adds a little bit of spank to the snare. It's really nice. Listen with and without. These are subtle things, but they can make such a huge difference. Turn it off. It's almost like using a transient designer. You've phase aligned your snare top to your overhead, so the transients are all nicely in line. But now it's letting a little bit of that attack go through, and it's just like pa, pa. It's fantastic. Absolutely love those two things together. It's a really, really nice effect. Very subtle, but all of these things, you add them together, these subtle moves, end up making a drum kit very easy to mix, and means that you're not using gates, which can be a real pain in the butt to use, except for that multiband gate, which is just pure genius. But you're not using these traditional gates to try and control, removing bleed from stuff. This is really a nice trick. You can also do the same thing with the kick drum. You can have the kick drum side chain to the snare drum if there's too much kick bleed in there for you, and just use a compressor. And it's really tasty because it'll make the kick just go pop, pop, pop. Have the attack of the kick really lightly in your snare track, as opposed to like tons of bleed. It doesn't work if you've got a 4 on the floor groove. Obviously, if there's a whole section where, kick and snare are playing together. But you can always turn it off there and just automate it off.